So every once in a while, we see a movie or we hear a story about the mean kids. The mean kids that pick on the other people and make other people's lives miserable because they're lesser than, or they're not as popular, not as pretty, not as rich, not as coordinated in sports, or not as cool. And so you got these people that look down upon the lesser than. Now, I grew up in a time where if you didn't know how to fist fight as a man, as a boy, you were considered weak. You needed to know how to defend yourself, and you needed to know how to throw down. And I kept this persona up that I was Mr. Tough Guy. Got into a lot of fist fights, got suspended, just had a lot of issues. And especially being Asian in the 70s and 80s, growing up at that time, you just got thrown all kinds of racial slurs at you, and a lot of discrimination, a lot of just hatred, And so people that don't experience it, they don't understand. And I'm not saying, I'm not playing the victim card saying that, it was so horrible, so miserable, Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but the way that I thought I needed to fight that system was to get physical and get into altercations, as a kid and growing up, trying to keep up a persona that, hey, I'm ready to throw down on the spot if we need to go, if we need to, get into it, I'm ready, and how much of my time did I spend in martial arts and hitting that punching bag and lifting weights, doing a lot of the things that, other kids didn't really do. It was in reaction to what the world's parameters were like. So for me to survive, mentally, physically, just overall, just survive, I felt like I needed to protect myself. Now, how many of us out here in this world are we feeling lesser than at times, or feeling like we have to do something to counteract something else? And in a very unhealthy way, we don't measure up. We're not tall enough. We're not good looking enough. We're not rich enough. We're not strong enough. We're not deadly enough. We're not smart enough. We don't have the perfect family. We don't live in the perfect neighborhood. There's just so many factors in life that can cause embarrassment, insecurity, and a lot of the things that just that people will look down upon you, make fun of you. The mean kids will trample on you. And even though it might not be as immature as it is in the school playground, it could be, in a sense, psychological. People looking down on you, making judgment on you. So there's all of these parameters in life where we feel like we didn't measure up, and that was our Achilles heel, or that was our sore spot, or that was our point of shame, And when the dust settles and you look at your life, your finances, your education, your beauty, your health, your family, your relationships, your, community circles, you put all that together and you realize that that's your life's reality. And from that point on, you look at what you want to choose to do to make it the best version for yourself. The parameters that you are in, the parameters you're given and the parameters you've chosen, how are you going to make it the best for yourself each and every day? I'm not saying that you have to overachieve to make it the best. I'm just saying to a point where you realize you're making improvements on the things that you want to spend your energy on, and you're kind of accepting or disregarding the things that aren't that important to you. That things that you're not going to concentrate on, things that don't align with your purpose or your agenda, And so the reason why I say all this is that I think a lot of us, we have these holes in our life, and we either hide them, or we lie about them, or we keep choosing the wrong decisions and make the holes even bigger, And we need to come to a honest check with reality to see that my life is headed in this way. I'm not living a lie. I look like this. I make this much money. I have this much wealth. I'm this tall. I'm this strong. I'm not going to be able to stop, somebody from attacking me. Just a lot of things in life that we may feel like we have to hide or lie about. I know some people, and they don't look like they can fight, but the minute they start talking, they act like they're going to be dangerous, I'm talking older people, around my age, pretty much grandparents, and they're making it sound like they're going to hurt people, if something came down. And I'm sure they can, but they'll probably get really badly hurt in the process, or, get your butt kicked. And there's these lies that we constantly live. I'm not saying you have to clean up all of that stuff. I'm just saying for your mental health and your ability to be in a state of reality and not live a lie, I think it's healthy We complain about certain things in life, and then we look at the choices that led up to those things. Somebody complained they never have money or they're not doing well financially, but then they've got a gambling problem. Or somebody complaining that, their health is deteriorating and they're not doing well, but then they got a drinking problem, smoking problem, no exercise problem, couch potato problem. There's a lot of things going on in life. And I think we need to constantly be aware, honestly, what we're doing and why things are the way they are. And also not be critical about ourselves and the things that aren't in our minds going well. I'm not a 6'10" basketball player. I shouldn't sit there beating myself up saying, I'm not tall enough. I'm not tall enough. And, being ashamed by that. I don't care, But there may be people out there in different areas of life, whether it's finances or family life or looks, that you just feel ashamed. And I want to say, just be the healthiest version of you and just excel being you. And the measuring sticks are necessary to see, who's at what place and, who's doing how well. But at the end of the day, we got to be thankful for who we are and how we're made and our circumstances, and keep trying to improve our circumstances, but not sit there beating ourselves up that life sucks all the time, because that's a disease. And I know so many people, we fall into this trap of, oh my gosh, life sucks. This sucks. Everything's so bad. Every week we're complaining. No, make the best of what you got right now and appreciate what you have and be thankful.
That's right. You know what time it is. It's time for Business Bites. Business Bites.
So this week for Business Bites, I want to talk about instead of starting a brand new business, if you're interested in a business idea, let's say you're interested in a restaurant and you know that this restaurant that you like going to has so much potential, but the owners have lost motivation. They're not wanting to put that extra oomph in their daily business routines. Their discipline is lacking. Their passion is lacking. You know that if you got involved with this business, you could probably take it to that next level, that one level higher, and kill it, make so much money. But for whatever reason, the owners, they don't have that drive anymore. They don't have that passion. You have so many businesses out there that are just same old, going through the grind, just like when you're at a job and they've lost that passion. A lot of these companies and businesses have, believe it or not, one foot out the door. And they're thinking if the right offer came, they're done. They're ready to move on. Some of these people are just sick of it. Some of these people are involved in this business thinking that it would be something else, but it's not. And they're not getting their fulfillment or their joy from this business anymore. Or there's those people that are right about to retire, or something happened in their family and they got to sell. They got literally one foot out the door and they need to sell. If the right offer came in, they would let go of that business. So one of the ways to do this is if you admire that business and you're a customer and you keep going back and you talk to the owners and see what it's about, what's going on. And then let them know that you're interested in potentially buying this business. Ask them to stay on for about 3 months, teaching you all the ins and outs and everything else. You give them an offer and they say, yes, great. You know how much you minimize in startup costs and headaches and permits and everything else going on, and, depending on what the business is, compared to something that's already running. And then a lot of times, especially people that you build a trust with, these people see you. If they're good people, they like you. And you know what? We've done it when we sold our businesses. You throw things in, because what are you going to do? We're not going to take it all. We're not going to, it might be a part of the tenant improvements or it's, it's just, we're not going to take it all with us. We just leave it for that new person. And we want them to succeed. When we're selling the business, we want that next person to succeed. We don't want them to fail. So the Business Bites idea is sometimes your next business idea is right around the corner or right under your nose. And all you have to do is make the right offer. And you may already have a functioning business that you could take to the next level and get successful. Yeah? Business Bites. What is going on, my people? So 2 things happened this weekend. One, my LAFC soccer team advanced to the next round of the playoffs. They beat out Austin in a 2 out of 3 series, and they swept them first and second game, so they didn't need a third game. And the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series again. So it was probably the most dramatic World Series I've seen in, I don't know, probably decades. It was intense. Like, I'm talking intense. So much drama. Anyway, we ended up winning at the end. I felt bad for Toronto because they were probably the better team, but it's not always the best team that wins these things, It's the people who just grind it out and make it work, So this week was a halfway decent week. Ended up with about 100 and change miles. Ended up going to NorCal, back down to SoCal, and then 2 round trips to the Phoenix area and back. And it was a pretty decent week, all in all. Minor drama here and there, normal, a lot of little things going wrong here and there once in a while. It just is what it is. And after a couple of years now into this trucking gig, um, it's not as stressful. Now, I know people that have been in this gig for a long time and they still get annoyed and complain and get frustrated. And I do too. But I try to keep a positive mental attitude so I don't burn out. And I try to make it a good day every day so it's a positive outcome each and every day and I'm not drained. Because the more you complain, the more you drain yourself out. And the more you keep a smile and get proactive with your assignments and stay happy, guess what? You'll probably have better days and it'll probably translate to even better mental health and physical health and whatnot. So, try it out. Try being thankful for each and every moment and the job that we have, just be thankful. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you this week. And I hope you guys have a good week. Thank you for following me on this journey. God bless all of you. If you're a driver out there, stay safe. Peace. And until next time, cheers.